Lancet vs M777 howitzer. Victory by a resounding score. Today, let's talk about how the Lancet stacks up against the M777 howitzers and the victories in this confrontation with a resounding score. Also, our drone was one of the big hits at Airshow Dubai 2023. And we'll introduce the new Geranium-3, an air defense killer with Russian technology. But first things first, for those who follow with interest the titanic confrontation between the small Izhevsk drone, Lancet, and the four-tonne fancy American howitzer BAE M777 by BAE Systems Land Armament, it was nice to know that our little guy recently passed the number 150 in terms of confirmed hot encounters with this popular NATO product. At least 2/3 of them ended quite miserably for the gun, and the results of the rest can be debated for a long time. They have a unique relationship in military history, of course, and its interpreters will still have to wonder why it is the M777 that accounts for about 1/5 of the Lancet's clipped targets, confirmed by visual materials and with established geolocation. But Russia's disposable strike drone has trophies. And fattier. A large video would not be enough to list just the modifications of the NATO war machines bruised by this remarkable machine with its instantly recognizable IXA wing. The photo shows the historic moment of the first official use of the Lancet. You'll never get tired of this shot. Who knew then in December 2021, when our native Ministry of Defense revealed to the world a video of the combat premiere of the new kamikaze drone, which jeweled a bandit pickup truck near Idlib in Syria. That this is the starting point of such a meaningful journey. The Lancet and the Cubes were still just beginning their dizzying military careers and might have seemed like another rather crude novelty, of which there were many in those years. True, the beginning was very encouraging. Two notorious and thoroughly wanted warlords from the outlawed coalition of Hayat Tahrir Asham gangster groups, the bandits Tau Kajdak Sniper and Ali Abu al-Walid, had no sooner turned their heads than they went to the best of all worlds. But at least some good came out of the existence of these scumbags. That video is often removed from many video hosting sites, as are hundreds of other excellent dramatic shots of the Lancet. But there are already so many of them that prohibition measures, as it usually happens, only spur increased interest in the Russian car. Lancets became welcome guests at various military exhibitions. But while you can watch it, you can't buy it yet. The Lancet, we note, actively entered the military skyline only a little over a year ago, but has already been mentioned more than 200 times in specialized military magazines and military columns of major world publications in all parts of the world. And that's just what can be found in the last 2 months. It is already definitely being studied in the military academies of the West. For the other day, one of West Point's adjunct professors, Colonel Vikram Medal, deputy head of the Military Engineering Academy's department, officially mentioned the drone as one of the best counter-battery weapons in an interview with a major American magazine. That's as far as official recognition goes. As it is, clips of the Lancet's work are going viral on the World Wide Web, at breakneck speeds. And even the big hunt for such content announced by some video hosting sites does not affect this fact at all. In some ways, its popularity has even become comparable, it's scary to say, to that of the Kalashnikov assault rifle. The concern, which rightfully bears the name of our famous gunsmith, is directly related to the drone. It is quite natural that such popularity and demonstrable power of the Russian drone could not pass by the attention of professional military, not related to the NATO bloc and not listed in the US allies and minions. As far as it became known, technical documentation on the drone was requested by the relevant agencies of 27 countries. So for the current popular Dubai Airshow 2023, that global Vanity Fair of aviation, the Lancet has approached the current popular Dubai Airshow as a full-fledged first star. The interest of representatives of different countries to it was simply huge. It is enough already that no other similar product can boast the ironclad fact that it defeated the much-publicized Leopard 2A6 and at first strike. While the Lancets are still needed in our country, our partners are offered an export version of the Cube drone, which has also performed well in battles. More than 40 episodes of defeat of enemy equipment were recorded. But those who have already set their sights on buying a batch of Lancets will have to temper their appetites a bit. According to some Russian military experts, Rosoboronexport export has limited its ability to sell the drone to foreign partners because of the high demand for it. Of our army, Lancet exports are now officially banned. And we, as people who always advocate military technical cooperation as one of the most important elements of geopolitical soft power, that decision is strongly supported. Because the need for the Russian army is our top priority today. Well, meet Herald 3. A little more than a week ago, John Kirby, the lame duck speaker of the U.S. National Security Council, told reporters that work at the Alabuga production site in Russia's Tatarstan was, quote, in the final stages and the security perimeter is being aged. These conclusions were drawn from satellite imagery provided by the ISIS Institute for International Security Science. By a funny linguistic coincidence, the English abbreviation of this independent office is exactly the same as the accepted abbreviation of the name of the banned Islamic State, until recently the world's main scarecrow. But that's just a lyrical digression. Although the maliciousness of this non-profit organization, supposedly monitoring nuclear non-proliferation, but in fact another civilian spacer of American strategic intelligence, is far greater than the caliphalists thrown into the dustbin of history. This time, however, the news it brought was not bad enough, although it caused increased nervousness in some parts of Eastern Europe. Kirby suggested that the new plant will be ready for full production in the first few months of 2024, with some lines running now. As John Kirby states, compared to this satellite image of the production site in Alabuga, taken in the spring of this year, there have been very serious changes there. In addition, representatives of the same institute recently reported that localization of production of Iranian drones, better known to us as Geranium-3, in Russia has already been completed. And if allegedly earlier kits for assembly were delivered from the Iranian Caspian port of Amirabad to the Russian Makhachkala, now they are produced directly in our country. And our engineers have made some pretty serious changes to the drone's layout. In the original Shahidi, the warhead, antennas and geolocation modules, batteries, servo motors and hulls have been replaced with Russian-made ones. So, Geranium, if it was Iranian, has now essentially retained only the form of the original. This has had a serious impact on the kamikaze drone's performance and its ability to withstand air defenses, which is reflected in the daily statistics. But geraniums are still vulnerable to air defense, even though they have to spend a lot of expensive SEMS missiles costing up to $1 million. They, like any weapon line, need development to avoid sooner or later becoming a laggard within the eternal confrontation between shield and sword. According to ISIS experts, Russia made at least 24 changes to the original design of the Shahed 136. And then a few days ago, an event occurred in Iran that could markedly accelerate progress on developing new types of attack drones. On Sunday, November 19, 2023, the IRGC's aerospace exhibition unveiled a new single-use attack drone, dubbed by the local press as a development of the much-loved SHAHET 136. Its main difference is that instead of a piston engine, the vehicle has a jet engine of original shape with elements of stealth technology. In addition, as Western experts note, the drone clearly uses an anti-radar coating reminiscent of what was used back in the F-119 duck-shaped stealth aircraft. According to the American magazine Drive, the Islamic Republic itself has not possessed such technology until now. But Russia possessed them to the fullest extent. And all this suggests that this is very likely the fruit of joint efforts, which may become one of the main products of the future Alabuga production site. The new drone is similar in size to the Geranium, with a length of 3 meters, weight of about 200 kilograms, and a combat part of about 50 kilograms. The manufacturer, Aircraft Industry Research Center, claims its range of up to 2,000 kilometers and speed several times higher than the previous model. The price of the drone will go up compared to the Geranium, but it will still be an order of magnitude cheaper than any cruise missile. The photo shows all 3 modifications of the drone on display at the IRGC's November exhibition in Tehran. The drone is presented in 3 modifications with radar, inertial GPS and electro-optical infrared modules. The Russian Federation's involvement is also suggestive of Russian involvement. The IRGC said it is fully ready for mass production. If this is indeed the case, it indicates very serious progress in joint Russian-Iranian developments. Such an attack drone will lack the main disadvantages of the Gerania-2 and will become a real headache for the air defense system, which will be mainly used to combat it. Iran, in turn, will get a production site protected not only by Russia's Echelon anti-nuclear defense, but also by the entire nuclear triad.